You're muted.
But the pen was a metaphor for sometimes, you're starting something and it flies out of your hands. And then what are you going to do? It's life. It's Wednesday, folks. Look, you know what that means. So we've got reviews for you. We've got a couple of things about trailers. We've got a Kickstarter that's going to be starting soon. And it's Wednesday. So it's actually a couple of different things. Also, Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, everyone.
Yep. Happy Earth Day.
We've really screwed that one up, haven't we? Jeez. Man, if we don't deserve to celebrate a day, it's oh my God. Robert, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Just thinking about that. That's like gaslighting on a whole other level. Humans, you have outdone yourselves again. I'm ready, I guess. Sure, why not? Folks, let's go and have some let's do the thing now. Hey folks, what's up? It's TBA News presented by the Hungry Bleak channel, and this is your comics culture chat show. Wednesdays. Happy New Comic Book Day. Also, that one we haven't screwed up. That one pretty good. The Earth Day, kind of messing that one up. Anyway, I am Antonio Pomares, aka the Hungry Bleak, the hungriest man in the room. You can take that however you like.
And I am Robert Jeffrey, aka Rob the Writer.
Robert, I feel like every Wednesday, like New Comic Book Day, there's more and more stacked comics to read. It's getting to be, like harder.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that the ones that I'm reading usually come out all on one day. Then the next week, nothing that I'm reading.
Yeah.
I'm like, can y'all space it out? Are y'all choosing to double team me like this? Sometimes quadruple team me. I think this week I got triple teamed. I'm not even sure.
Their goal is to make you not read all the comics that you want to read.
It's wild, and yet tonight I know I'm going to be diving into some stuff with the TV off, hopefully, and just listening to music and reading. But it's But this is a great time of year. I mean, we've got great big comic book stuff coming out, and movies as well are starting to come out. Yeah. And you've got one that has just recently come out.
Yep. So Project Hail Mary, a movie I had spoken about here a few weeks ago as a part of the Upfronts. I think it was the Upfronts episode. So shout out to the past. So I was hyped to see this Project Hail Mary, a film adaptation of, I think it was like New York Times bestselling book by Andy Weir. Hater against the modern Star Trek. But that aside, I wanted to go see the movie because I'm a huge space opera fan. But in addition to that, I really enjoyed The Martian, which is another adaptation of another novel that he wrote, which came out a few years ago. I can't give it an exact year, but it was a movie about Matt Damon's character, who was an astronaut stranded on Mars, and the mission to, on Earth to bring him back home. So in Project Hail Mary, we have Ryan Gosling playing a high school science teacher who is also a scientist who finds himself recruited to join a mission to save the sun. And I'll leave it there because I don't want to spoil too much as far as like the story and what happens. But one thing I will say is that I am happy that I went to the theater to see this, especially I think it was like a week or two after the Artemis 2 mission. Shout out to NASA because I was in a perfect mindset to go and check this out. Something that actually celebrates STEAM and sciences and space travel, and the movie didn't fail to please. Like I haven't seen Ryan Gosling in a lot of stuff. I know I'm probably failing in my Gosling film I guess menu of things to see, but to be honest with you, I think this might be the first movie of his aside from was it The Good Guys with him and
Yes.
him and
Russell
Russell
Crowe.
Crowe. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that's like the first. This is the second first full length movie I've seen him in. Wait, he was in that dance movie with the musical movie with I cannot remember her name. She
Yeah.
played.
A La La Land.
Okay, so this is the third movie. So yeah,
Well, okay. Blade Runner.
and Blade Runner. Okay, so this is the fourth movie. Okay, so I just
We're just gonna we
just
got
like
your Ryan Gosling credit right back.
yeah,
I'm
because
just
like
adding.
yeah, I'll just say I will say like first of all, my memory shot to hell, y'all. I'm 44 years old. But the other thing is like I think he's an actor that I don't normally look for. And it's nothing against him. I just when somebody says, "Hey, have you seen this Ryan Gosling movie?" I was like, "Was he in the movie with somebody else?" So this I think might be the first movie where he is definitely a part of a larger cast. But I think next to the Blade Runner sequel, this might be like the first one where he's like, kind of the standalone guy, and it just works. So at a certain point in the movie, it becomes just him, and there are no spoilers on this. There's an alien that he comes across who is on the same mission for his for his world, and seeing Ryan Gosling and this alien working together, becoming fast friends, and seeing the tense, the suspenseful nature of will they or won't they their mission succeed, was really fun to watch. But there's the story is really solid. The special effects are great. And just to watch something that is about space exploration where science is just being celebrated was really awesome. This is one of like my favorite movies of this year. And it looks like right now it's doing really well. I think it's made like $573 million, worldwide. It's a huge success. So I definitely recommend people check it out. It might be something to pair up with The Martian when it comes out to streaming, and also like space exploration movies like Interstellar. But it's strangely enough, it's a feel good movie. It's just a feel good sci-fi movie, which just kind of hits on a variety of levels, and that's directed by Phil Lord, and I want to make sure I have this right. And Tom, they're actually the guys who directed Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, and they were the guys who directed the Lego Movie, of all things, and adapted by Drew Goddard. So, yeah, I was very impressed with the end result. I don't know if it necessarily is something like I got to go back and read the book, but I will say that even if you aren't like a devout space fan or a space movie fan, you can find some type of enjoyment in this, especially with the especially with the alien friend that he befriends and all of that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was a good movie to kind of start the movie watching viewing season with.
All right, cool. I've got a quick question. Mandalorian, yay or nay? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's in space, so I'll go and see the movie. I will say I wasn't really kind of hyped about it until the most recent trailer, and that's sad because I really enjoyed the series, but there was really nothing kind of jumping out at me with those first few trailers. But like I said, I'll definitely go and see it.
I haven't seen the trailer. It doesn't actually matter to me. I'll probably go see the movie. Well, depending on when it is too. But I forgot there was going to be a movie. I kept thinking that there was another season coming out. I totally forgot that it was going to be a movie. I mean,
some people might straight up say like this is the additional season. It just turned into a movie.
It probably is.
Yeah,
because it hasn't been.
Yeah, but it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah. I'm a Gosling fan. I haven't watched all of his movies, but I always feel like he represents well in his movies. Across for, and he just he's he's a better Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. I mean, I think. Well, I mean, I don't know if I missed something. I think he's a really good actor. Which
no, because he's actually like in his interviews. Like when I was watching clips of his interviews when they were doing the Blade Runner press junket, him and Harrison Ford, they were hilarious together. There was such great chemistry for them. I was like, can I just get a movie of them traveling together doing
Yeah.
the press junk. Like I like that kind of chemistry when I see two actors like that. He just seems like a decent person. I know he's done some really good acting over the years. I think he had a movie where he played a teacher before this.
Okay.
A teacher who was also addicted to crack. Full Nelson
Okay.
was the name of the movie. He was also in Lars and the Real Girl.
Hmm.
So he does like a lot of different genre movies, which I like. I always feel like that just makes it better. So then when you have someone in space like this doing a very grand stage, obviously space is like a grand stage. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's infinite, but it's expanding. I love the idea of something that's of nothing that's getting bigger. I think that's an amazing idea and quite terrifying. But this is one of the movies that I saw and I was like, okay, I thought it was coming out later in the summer because it looks like a
Yeah.
movie that would be like a bigger block. But I think it is a great way to start out. I love movies that start in kind of like that April and May area
Yeah.
because they get you revved up, but they're usually really good movies. But if you sometimes put them into the summer, they'll get lost in all the explosions and box office stuff. So I'm glad this movie is having its chance to really sit and people are enjoying it and getting in it. And I love the fact that it's based on a movie because I was at an event this past weekend and the book damn near sold out.
Oh wow.
And people were coming in the next day like, I thought we were going to have more hard copies. They're like, no, they all sold out yesterday. And I was like, good. I like that's a good problem. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So congratulations to y'all. So yeah, I'm glad this movie is out there and people are in it and Ryan Gosling is just living it up right now. Another person who's living it up right now is Miles Morales. So I'm a bit behind. I'm reading the Cody Ziegler run right
Nice.
now. The run before this was the Saladin Ahmed run. That was actually I really enjoyed it. So this run, I just got finished reading Trial by Spider. This is the first of the Cody Ziegler run. This is obviously Marvel Comics. Writer is Cody Ziegler. Artist is Federico Vincentini. Color artist is Ryan Falenza. Letterer is VC's Corey Pettit. Editor is Tom McGronin. Tom Gronin. Uh, Grown man. I don't know how many different ways I'm going to say it wrong. Grown man. I've said it each and every way possible that I can read it. I hope one of those pronunciations is the correct one. Thank you very much. So basically, this is obviously we know Miles Morales is Spider-Man or one of the Spider-Man, Spider characters, Spider heroes. And this kind of picks up with him living his life, obviously being a student, having friends. He has such a beautiful life, and I love that. And his family, and he's got a baby sister. I love all of this for him. I love how much of a difference he is from Peter Parker,
Mm.
in such a beautiful way. And it ends up being the biggest thing about the story that got me so much, and I kept hearing about it, was the fact that Cody Ziegler's run, not I mean, he also goes to Wakanda at one point, and there's the vampire stuff from Blood Hunt. So I wanted to get into all of that. But one of the things that got me about the story as I was reading is that um obviously he's going up against big spot. Like you see him up here going up against Scorpion, one of the quintessential spider villains, which I love. But in this series, Miles is dealing with something. He's dealing with anxiety attacks,
Mm.
which are affecting his powers. I absolutely love that, but also hate that for the character. To have him doing these daring do and the art but is phenomenal. I am like awestruck by this art. I absolutely, especially this panel right here. This is like
Yeah.
quintessential spider powers, flying through the sky, saving someone, but also getting a kick in while you're saving the person. I absolutely love that. You got to get a quick kick in on Scorpion. Have to. Uh, but I love the fact that going through all this, doing all this, having spells, you should have this phenomenal life. You should think, oh, everything will be great. Everything looks so great on the outside. But the inside, he's having these panic attacks and are affecting his powers, his spider sense in particular, which is one of the most important powers that any spider character can have. Like, it's such an important power that if you've got a Spider-Man movie without the spider sense, you would think this isn't it. Something's not right.
Yeah.
This isn't getting it. So you need that there. All the while, he's also being chased by a new villain. And it turns out it's someone who is on the flip side of Miles. when Miles had that lottery to get into the school, he won the lottery. This person didn't, and they were in the running as well, and their life kind of went in the opposite direction of Miles. So they're looking to go after Miles, and because they don't think that Miles appreciates what he's got. Miles is having trouble in school. He's getting angry very quickly, almost a like a trigger response. Like he almost ends up like beating the hell out of this one villain who is like a Q level villain easily, but he snaps on him. So Miles begins to realize that, wait, I am lucky. I've got these powers. I'm able to save people. I'm able to do all this stuff. I have my family. I have my little baby sister. Um, I have these great friends, and I'm in this school that I can truly learn and prosper. And he does some like silly things, but he's also young. But it's also these things of saying you've got to get your head on straight. You've got to focus on what's important and really be there. And I love that. All these excuse me,
So
these
sweet.
little things being in there just made me go, wow, yeah, this is awesome. So it was such an incredible read once I got into the emotional side of it and more of the character development side, and showing he needs to be more grateful, and just letting everything happen. He's just like, oh yeah, well, it is what it is, and not really thinking about how fortunate he is to have this side. Like he could not use his powers. He could. We all know that with great power comes great responsibility. Yes, we all know that. But he could choose not to use his powers and just be there for his family and go to school and become a scientist or whatever he wants to become and do that. But him going in this route, still being a superhero, he should be able to see more of that and be grateful. And that really hit me in a very profound and beautiful way. I absolutely love. Yeah, here's the part where he just goes off, and another hero who he's actually seeing called Starling, I want to say her name is she's like, "What's going on with you? Are you okay?" It was, and he snaps at her too, and it's him trying like he like kind of ghosts her, which obviously don't ghost someone unless the person like actually does it. But this is just him trying to go through it when he can actually speak to her. She even at one point says, you know what, if you can't speak to me, and I understand that, go speak to someone professional, go speak to a therapist, which I love that little note in there as well.
Yeah.
Telling people, telling young people who may be reading this comic, if they're unsure and you can't speak to your best friend or your partner or your parents or who have you, maybe a teacher, maybe a counselor at your school, um, something like that. Speak to someone. There's always some outlet that you can go to that will connect you to someone who will be able to help you. So all of that just made me really feel like this is a hitting issue. Um, I don't know why I haven't been reading Ziegler's run. I just all the other comics out there, maddening, but I absolutely love this. I'm on volume 2 now, and it's getting even more into it because Hobgoblin has showed up, and he's different. Like
Mm.
he's stronger, faster, and Miles Morales' his spider sense is damn near out of commission because he sneaks up on him a couple of times and gets him, and it's really great. The art shows this fast, kinetic movement and speed, which I think only Miles has. You'll notice there's a bit of a difference in how they move between Miles and Peter. Like even when you're playing the video game, there's a bit of a difference from when you're web swinging through New York as Miles versus Peter. There is a difference. I don't care if you say there's not. If you know, you know, there is a difference in how you feel when you move. I'm absolutely into this series. I This is, I believe, the end of it. There's a new Spider-Man series that's going to be coming out. I'll be talking about that Friday because I'm super excited on who's even on it. But yeah, this is a great series. Please go get Miles Morales Spider-Man, Cody Ziegler's run. It just feels so good and so right. And again, speaking on mental health and going to see someone, speaking to people,
Yeah.
is great, you know. And also, at a certain point, there's vampires and Wakanda. Yes, thank you. Yes, awesome. So yeah, go check this one out. I absolutely loved it. I think it's 7 or 8 trades, I want to say,
Okay.
for this one. Yeah, so this is definitely one to go check out.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Ziggler's run,
Yeah,
so I have to check it out.
it's
Definitely.
it's absolutely phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Another character that is very acrobatic, and going throughout the cities. This is one of my favorite characters as well.
Nightwing. That ad. Now let me stop. So yeah, the cheeks. Nightwing leaping into the light. Um, I mean, hey,
I mean, there's no lie, but that caught me so off guard.
yeah. Um, Nightwing has been a character. Actually, let me, because I wanted to pull up the cover. And actually, give me 1 second. So
The
what I will
covers,
do,
the cover is beautiful, and it feels like you're
yeah,
leaping into something new. It
yeah.
really
So let me do
does.
this.
That's what I love the most.
This is the cover for the edition that I'm reviewing today. Nightwing leaping into the light, DC Compact Comics. And unfortunately, on this page, we don't have any preview pages. So what I'll do is go back to here and show some of the artwork. So I am addicted to the DC Compact Comics. Like they're $10, and you get a really nice, actually pretty a decent amount of story. And what these books are pretty much reprints of really big runs or popular runs in DC Comics. So the first one I picked up was Far Sector. Since then, I've picked up The Court of Owls and Injustice and Deceased. And this series was written by Tom Taylor, and I became familiar with his work with a creator-owned comic called The Deep, and from there I became a really big fan of his work and started reading Injustice and then the Neverlanders, and it looks like he's done a bunch of stuff: Superman, Spider-Man, X-Men, Star Wars, and so forth. But Tom Taylor had a really big run on Nightwing, and this is the start of his arc on that. And I'll just read this. Nightwing is back, and his drive to keep Bloodhaven safe has never been stronger. But his adopted city has elected a new mayor with the last name Zuko. When Nightwing enlists Batgirl's help in investigating the politician bearing the same name as the man who murdered his parents, she unearths details that will shock and fundamentally change the hero. So this is so for anybody interested in getting the compact comics, this is a really good start to, and if you're not familiar with Nightwing, this is a good start, a starting point. And what I really enjoy about Nightwing just in general is that as compared to Batman, his vibe is always a little bit more relaxed, right? He is fighting the same type of dark elements, but he brings this high flying bravado to the crime, to the crime fighting. And the the other thing that works is that we're bringing him back to Bloodhaven, which is, I always describe it as, and I know this is probably wrong, but like Gotham always seems more New Yorkish to me, and Bloodhaven, at least from what I've been able to gather, is like Jersey. So it becomes this like huge, it becomes this setting that if you're not familiar with it, it is completely new. And one of the things that I pick, that he says in this is that Bloodhaven is just cruel. And you have this, and sorry, this may be a trigger, but these guys are chasing and kicking a dog, and they are just brutalizing it. And then Nightwing shows up and just decides to kick butt. So in epic fashion. So we have him, coming across a new rogues, familiar and old rogues gallery. Zuko's daughter is now mayor. You have the corruption that takes place with her, and answering to a certain gang boss in the city. And but then also we have, familiar faces like Babs, who, Batgirl, and then we have Tim Drake that shows up, and The general vibe that I get from reading this book is just it is not deadly fun, but harmful fun. It's like you have this sense of if there's a serious vibe, but Dick does his best to not allow himself to be kind of pulled beneath all the the grit and grime that you see in Bloodhaven. So I think for me it was a good it was a good story to good point to jump back into the series because I'm not familiar with like the years upon years of mythos when it comes to Nightwing, and I remember reading a while back, which I don't know if it was a New 52, but it was there was another relaunch and way back when. But so this is my first time in a while reading something with Nightwing, but I've been enjoying it so far. And it's the other thing that he deals with is that he has given this inheritance by spoiler Alfred, who at least in this timeline or at least this iteration has died, and there's this thing of him realizing coming to terms with what am I going to do with this with this money, how am I going to do something different rather than just going around and being a superhero. So there's that aspect to it also, but overall I really enjoyed the story. I want to give a shout out to the artist Bruno Redondo. And I wish I had the other information for the other team members, but it's like I said, it's $10 worth picking up, and it's a good introduction to Nightwing and him doing his own thing in Bloodhaven. So yeah, it's a good read, and Tom Taylor is an excellent writer.
Yeah, always been a fan of Nightwing. At a certain point, maybe in the mid 2000s, something like that. Maybe I don't know. Or maybe late 2010s. I don't know, it's all blur now. I was on this kick of getting all of the Nightwing stuff
Mm-hmm.
because this like tablets and digitals weren't around, so I was getting them all, and I loved reading them when he first got to Bloodhaven, and it was just crazy seeing him in a town that was worse than Gotham.
Yeah.
Because you don't think there's anything worse than Gotham. Then when you get there, he immediately finds like corrupt cops. There's a guy trying to like get this young girl off of a bus so he can end up like prostituting her. I was like, and I was like, where's Bruce? Like all stuff you do, like you're not going over here, like you're not trying to like go to the next town. And it was great. So having someone who is so lighthearted and so positive and so good
Mm-hmm.
in a town that was just the opposite
Yeah.
was so refreshing. Then I know at a certain point, I wasn't reading like I have them, but I haven't read them. He's got like he went to New York for a while. He left Bloodhaven, went to New York. Then I don't know what happened. Then there was the New 52, which we don't even talk about that because that red suit was not getting it. Then he went back, and it was during the rebirth where I think they started going more into his
That's what it was. Yeah.
Romany heritage,
Mm-hmm.
which was interesting. Then there was the whole thing where he had been shot in the head, and he was going by Richard instead of Dick.
And
Then they decided to wipe the slate all clean, and that's when he started out with Leap, leaping into the light.
yeah.
Which from the cover itself, you feel like it's a whole new start, and
Yeah.
it's back to him being who he is. Even the suit is always, it's one of my favorite superhero suits ever. It's so clean, it's so pristine, it's so basic, and says so much. And it's such a
Yeah.
great update from what he started with in the Teen Titans when he had the fringe and the long ponytail and
Yeah.
the kind of mullet and everything. So it's great. This is just one of my favorite characters. I
Yeah.
just will always love, like when I play like Arkham, I go with either him when I'm playing, or I'll go with like Azrael, because
Mm.
Azrael is a favorite of mine also. So yeah, this is great. I'm happy to see you talking about it and it being such a nice difference, which is cool. So yes,
Yeah.
please go check out Nightwing Leap into the Light. Next one we've got is, this was one that I got from a Kickstarter from a company that I truly enjoy, which is Resolve Comics, and this is excuse me, I don't know what's going on, folks. This is Keeper's Oath. So this is from Resolve Comics. Writer is Adam Downing. Lines and colors are Amari Morales. Another Morales, outstanding. And lettering and title are from Sarahi Okanto. So basically, this is kind of like uh, fantasy story. I love how there are so many different types of things: sci-fi, superhero, horror, love, comedy, fantasy, all these different things out there as far as comics go. And seeing now people of color, black people, First Nations, Indigenous, Asian, just Hispanic, Latino, people getting into these different genres and not just doing sci-fi or superhero. Everyone's thing is comics. You automatically think of superheroes. This is more of a fantasy tale. So we are following the trials. Well, I shouldn't say trials, but I guess the young trials and tribulations of a character named Axis. So he's a young stable boy in a world full of dragons, and he wants to be a dragon knight. But he has tried to get into the academy. I think it was 6 or 7 times, and he's failed every time. Like every year, he's failed. And at a certain point, his friends, his family, people in the town are even like, "You need to just calm down. Just get a job. Just get like a 9 to 5 and just chill." I mean, there are no 9 to 5s here, but you get what I'm saying. Like a 9 to 5 in the village and just chill, sit back. Meanwhile, uh, the orcs are like getting this resurgence. There's this evil spirit that has come out of this stone here and possesses one of the orcs, and they're like, we have to remember who we are. We were these people who were just made the humans fear them, and we have to bring that back. So they start to do that and go at it, which I actually kind of like the fact that the orcs were kind of chilling and they're like, look, we're just trying to live and be who we are and do our thing. And then this spirit, this entity, let's say, entity sounds like a better term because I'm not sure what it is yet. Entity comes in and is like, no, we need to get back to whooping their ass, making them fear us, going into towns and slaughtering people, what have you. You know, sounds like a colonizer, but I don't think orcs would, but it sounds like more like colonizer vibe. If you know, you know. Anyway, so then we go to the village and we find Axis, who is this young black boy with locks in his hair, which I love. Again, character designs make me happy so much. I love seeing characters not just dress in what you would think they would dress in fantasy, but changing it up a bit. I love a good hand wrap, like 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 a box or something like that. I love a hoodie, obviously, big hoodie fan, jackets or anything like that. And his friends are getting on him like, no, we need to stop this. We need to stop sugarcoating it, dude. You don't have it. You're not it. You can't even do magic. How are you going to become a dragon knight? So basically, it's just him following, and everyone's on his back. Meanwhile, he forgets this is the day of the exam for all of the the Dragon Knight Academy, and they all are getting their classes and their ranks and everything. So all while this is happening, a massacre starts. This invasion starts of the orcs who were out there. First off, look at the beauty in the art. Something I love about Resolve Comics is they go big or they don't do it at all. Every panel is big and bold, full of bright colors, especially when you're dealing with characters that have powers and dragons. You cannot have a panel that is subdued and with a dragon. I then again, somebody might do it and it might make me shed like one thug tear. I don't know. It's a possibility. I don't know. But I love how they do it. Their comics are always so bold and so bright and beautifully done. Whether it's lines or even like the green in the eyes right here just shines so deep. I absolutely love that. But then you see this arrogant prince here who will also be a character in the book. Because you always need like that. What is the term they have them in anime? They're called a fair weather enemy, I think it is, where sometimes they're your enemy, but you end up becoming really best friends. I mean, perfect example, Goku and Vegeta. They're not best friends. Well, they start to become really close, but they become very close. Meanwhile, years ago, they were beating the hell out of each other, and Vegeta came here to destroy the Earth. Anyway, I also love the design of his character. Black character, red hair, locks, archery, which is always cool, and the jacket. Again, the designs are always so dope for me. And the dragons are beautifully done as well. So as Axis is being this stable boy, The man even tells him, "Hey, man, look, stop paying attention to the games. Get in here, clean up this doo doo, man. We got." He literally says that, like, tell look, man, you better get in here. He tells him, "Watch out for this dragon over here. It's a very unruly dragon. It's taken 3 riders' limbs. So don't get near it. Don't even think about the fact that you might train this dragon." No pun intended. I'm not trying to show for that movie or series, but if you enjoy it, I hope you do. I've never seen it. This might be that actually. This might get me into actually watching that movie. I haven't yet. I don't know. So as he's doing this, like again, they're pecking at him again about not being able to get through these academy trials. Comes home. His father's like, "Look, man, you need to get a job." He's going outside to see where his mother and sister are. He sees the invasion, sees it, and in a wild thought, he says, "I'm going to lead them away because I don't want them to kill anyone else, but I also want to find my mother and my sister." And he's going through, and at a certain point, he actually goes, "Why did I have this idea of trying to do this?" While he's doing this, we see the Dragon Knights, this group of formidable warriors coming through. And they do look kind of cool. I want to see more of those, and I want to see where we go from this because I love a cool group of protectors in a city, like their military or what have you, or like their armed forces that aren't ice coming through because we're not for that. So as he's trying to get them through, we see that they even get taken out. But I want to see what happens when they're actually proper. He says, "Look, I'm going to chase them away. How'd I get this idea?" While this happens, he gets into a building, finds his sister and his mother, but not well. And it causes a change. We see a rattle. And then we see, as his sister exclaims, "Oh, Axis, you're here." We see this moment. He snaps. We all know this face, whether it's a Kubrick movie or an anime. When you see this face, you know something bad is about to happen or something really good is going to come from it. And we see him protect his sister by cutting the orcs in half with this blue energy and this armor. And then we see character designs. Absolutely, yes. I want more of this. Give it to me. That's all I got to say. Resolve, like I said, I'm a fan of their comics. I've always enjoyed their stuff. But to see, because they have also Super Dangerous 1 and 2 is out. They have the Toys Who Walk, I want to say is another one. But this is really cool. Like I said, fantasy, sword and sorcerer kind of thing. But I want to know, where does that power come from? What is his father? Because his father was also in a wheelchair. I want to know how that happened. What came about from that? Was that from something from birth? Was there an accident? Was he a fighter? I don't know. Tell me more about the Dragon Knights and each of the other characters that are going to be teaming with him. I'm here for this. Give it up. I got it. Yes, absolutely yes.
Yeah, that seeing the orcs ripped in half at the end did not. I wasn't expecting that, especially with like the art style.
Yes.
Yeah, that was just like, whoa. Okay, so that looks pretty awesome. That looks pretty cool.
It's beautiful. Like some moods I'm in for, like I've been in the mood for more like fantasy stuff lately.
Yeah.
Big swords, like give me Berserk, but not as wild.
Mm-hmm.
Berserk gets a little dark.
Yeah,
Give me more
I can't even watch
chasers. Yeah,
being honest.
Even though I've actually been kind of having the urge to watch Berserk, but I won't do it because I know it's just gonna hurt my feelings again.
Yeah. No,
but yeah, this
I'm
was
good
dope.
with Invincible.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Invincible. Well, actually, I haven't watched this week's episode, but last episode was beautiful though, and I love big space hand-to-hand fights.
Mm-hmm.
Or characters like actually fly, like so proud that they're flying through a big starship. I love that. Like when I saw Captain Marvel do it.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, this is what I've wanted to see. And seeing something like that episode was just, I might have to rewatch that because that whole fight was so, yeah, it was just so, I've never seen a crisper fade in space like Thrag's barber. Shout out to Thrag's barber.
We've been talking about like that's the number 6 from the poster that you see when you go to the to the barber.
Yo, for real. But yeah, Keeper's Oath is definitely a great one. I want to see more of this series because this is a win for me. Absolutely a win.
Is it just the first issue that's out, or do they?
Yeah, this is just first issue so far that's out. Yeah,
got you.
And next up for you, Robert, you've got an oldie but a goodie of a huge franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it's somebody hasn't watched it, so here's your review. Yeah, I'm doing a rewatch, Stargate Atlantis. I way back when the first movie came out, I remember going to see that in theaters. I am aging myself. I think it was Kurt Russell and was it James Spader?
Yeah, James
Were the
Spader.
two? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so the Stargate movie begat an entire franchise that followed on TV. Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, Stargate Universe, and a bunch of other movies. And I think there's another TV or like web series that I'm forgetting the names of. But Stargate Atlantis was the series that stood out for me. That is the one that I actually finished up because I think I got to like season 4 or 5 of SG-1 and I just tapped out. It is not a bad show at all. I just just never finish it up. But when I started Stargate Atlantis, um, I stuck with it in a big way because it just was. I really enjoyed it. So the gist of the series is like I said, it's the first spinoff start from SG-1, and it's about a military science expedition team discovering Atlantis and exploring the Pegasus galaxy. However, they don't have a way to return home via the Stargate, and they inadvertently wake a hostile alien race known as the Wraith, whose primary goal is to gather a fleet to invade Atlantis and find their new feeding ground, Earth. So the original series the original season, first season ran for 20 episodes. So we're like back in the day when science fiction and fantasy and just genre shows overall, or just TV overall, just ran for like 20 plus episodes. So you have like a really big, you have a lot of meat, to get through. And one of the things that I think differentiates this first season from SG-1, albeit it is a new show, but you have a entirely new part of the galaxy to explore and a threat, because in SG-1 the big threat is this alien race known as the Ghoul, and what they'll do is I think it's like a worm or some type of
Mm-hmm.
parasite or alien that they will infect a human being and their eyes like light up like like white, and that's the invading force. But in this one, the Wraith are they're turning into one of my favorite like antagonists, of alien groups. First of all, they feel like they're out of a horror movie, and the way they feed off of humans, that's the best way that I can put it. And when they feed off of humans, they drain the life force and age the person until they are just a husk. So by the end of the second episode of the first season, the Stargate team accidentally, because they're trying to rescue some people, they accidentally awaken the Wraith before they are scheduled to awake. So normally they will go to sleep for like thousands of years, and then when they wake up, they start this process called the culling, where they go from planet to planet eating humans, like abducting humans so that they can have a food source. So in the midst of trying to figure out the secrets of Atlantis, meet up with different humans who are seated across different planets, and just doing their thing. Now that we are literally at war with the Wraith, which was something that was unexpected. So you have I always say like celebration of science, but also there's a lot of technobabble. But also the thing that you get from SG-1 is the military being a part of the space exploration. Mm-hmm. So you have that. So that's where the action comes in. Sometimes you might call it, I don't want to say Call of Duty, but it's like Call of Duty meets a little bit of Star Trek, and so there's a healthy balance of like celebrating kind of the sciencey stuff and the action stuff. And you have 20 episodes to enjoy it over. The other thing that I've noticed about this show is that even though it feels episodic, this is like that start of the period where TV was moving over to serialized television. So you have things that happen in earlier episodes that bear weight on things that happen later on. So you have those standalone episodes, which definitely you can watch. But the thing that I appreciate is kind of seeing how the threads connect in a big way in I think it's a 4-part season finale called Siege, where the Wraith actually get to Atlantis and it turns into like this big epic battle, which they have laid the framework for. So all in all, I think that if you are looking for something that is kind of, say in the vein of Star Trek meets a little bit of maybe not The Expanse, but like Star Trek meets Battlestar Galactica, which was a series that came after this. I think this is definitely worth checking out, especially if anything, for the introduction of the Wraith to the Stargate mythos. And I just enjoyed it. And also you get a chance to see Cree Summers' brother, who I'm trying to see if I can get his name right. His name is Rainbow Sun Franks, but you have Major John Shepard, Dr. Elizabeth Weir, Tila, Emma.
Isn't Jason Momoa in this too?
So that's in the second season.
That's the second. Okay, I remember he was in one of them. I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to get to. So Tila Imagan and Dr. Rodney McKay, and because of something that happens with, and I'll just leave it, kind of no spoilers there, but with with Ford's character, Jason Momoa comes into the second season, and it is so interesting to see him as like being a part of like kind of the support where kind of like a supporting cast, but like ensemble cast, where he is now the lead in most of the stuff that he does. Like he is a leading man, and so like seeing him in this starting in the second season going on into the fifth is pretty cool, and his character is really awesome. But yeah, I just sometimes this is my second time rewatching a series, and I really think that this first season holds up pretty strongly, especially with getting people invested in this world, especially when Stargate SG-1 is the one that most people kind of think about, but this one holds its own. It's a really solid sci-fi series.
Yeah, there's a lot of love for the Stargate franchise, just in general, because I remember watching the first series when it was in syndication, because I didn't have cable at the time, so I was watching a syndication. Saturdays, I think they'd show maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and I'd be watching them all. Like I was so into it, and then it started getting into almost like kind of comedy at a certain point, because there were so many episodes, so you have those filler episodes, and they were great too, because I was still in it. Those were the standalone filler episodes, but I always loved that series. I never got into Stargate Atlantis. I think I had maybe 3 seasons left for SG-1, and I never watched Stargate Universe.
Universe.
I want to say they're starting a new series. I want to say.
Yeah, that I said, I can go down the rabbit hole, but yeah, Amazon is rebooting the universe, or Stargate Universe.
Which I think this is a beautiful universe, because you can go into it so many different ways, and you can keep doing it too, because when you have the gates, there's infinite things that you can do. So I think it's great to have something like this. And also you get to have an ensemble cast, which I love. You get to have casts of different shades, different identities, different purposes, different duties in there, whether they're a science, whether they're a medical, whether a doctor, whether they're military, whatever their thing is. I actually enjoy that. So yeah, Stargate franchise will always have a love, and especially a place with me. It was just one of my, and I do love the movie. I absolutely love the movie. It was something I remember watching and being like, wow. And it kind of hit hard, like how it starts with his son.
As a kid, I thought it was a time travel movie, and when we went to go see it, I was like, okay, this is better. So yeah,
that makes sense though. I mean, because you do see like ancient Egypt, and there's this,
and that's what
so that it does. If you didn't know, that does make total sense. And then when you get into it, you're like, oh, it goes way deeper than this, like this whole other thing. Yeah, but if you like just looking at it, no, that totally makes sense, especially because there's like this older woman who's showing them, and it's like whenever there's like like an older person like that, you always think, oh, it's some type of time travel thing, what have you. Yeah, there's always something like that, but it is one of those series that just always gets you. It's definitely cool. So last one we've got an upcoming Kickstarter, which is going to be coming up. This is from a friend of the show, an incredible writer, Damien Becton. This is the Ruth Avenue Raiders. First off, I love the name. Absolutely. And this is a 90s 2000s cartoon inspired OGN. I absolutely love this. This is basically, yeah, this just the artwork itself looks like that type of feel. It's basically a story of, I believe they're in elementary school. I'll just read the actual thing. That would make more sense. The best elementary football team on Ruth Avenue tackles their toughest opponents yet, the robots of Sector 7. Yes, absolutely yes. This is some definitely 90s, 2000s Cartoon Network Toonami type of Saturday morning cartoon type of fare. I absolutely love this. Basically, we all know the stories of, like, when there was a group of kids or teens, what have you, and they would get together, like this group of misfits, let's say, get together and they would, have adventures or what have you. This takes it up a notch by having them as a football team and they're going up against an interdimensional group of robots. Yes, please. I don't know what else to say. I don't talk about things I don't like or that I don't think you should buy. Absolutely yes. And also the fact that it's Damian Becton. Damian Becton is one of my favorite writers. He's also one of the nicest people possible as well. I love the fact that, and he's an educator. I love the fact that he has a book that is a sci-fi, to quote my co-host here, space opera set in space where it's a mother and daughter
Yeah.
trying to fend off these evil forces on a planet that they are marooned on. Then he writes a story in the time of, like, medieval, where it's in Nottingham, which I definitely recommend reading. It's Robin Hood, but he's a serial killer, and the sheriff of Nottingham actually is a good person from what I've read so far, and he's trying to stop this serial killer. I love that perspective. It's a very kind of police procedural horror, but set in medieval times. Then you go to Catabasis, which is this action horror story that I absolutely love. Action horror fantasy story, which I absolutely love, set in hell, which should be like the thing that ties that all together. And then go to this all ages book. Again, I love when someone can touch on each genre and make it work. They make it click, because it's not just, oh, he's a good sci-fi writer, or, oh, she does really well with comedy. It's, this person is a great writer because they can go into different factions or different genres and make it work. So when there's someone like that, and then they have a story that maybe wouldn't catch me normally, but I know that writer's on there and I like their work all across the board, I tend more to jump in, because I'm like, look, you did something with medieval times. You did something with an assassin and a resurrected assassin in hell trying to protect a young girl. You've got a story about a mother and daughter out in space who have the worst relationship possible, but they're also trying to fight these enemies that are trying to kill them. Now you give me an all ages story. Yeah. And each one of his stories work. And so I love that. So this is going to be coming up soon. Um, I'm excited to read this because I want something different. I don't just read superhero books. Like, I rarely talk about superhero books. Today I talked about superhero book. I rarely do that because I read superhero, but not a lot. But I read lots of different genres. So to have something that's more all ages, that's fun, that's might make me chuckle too, which I love, is so wonderful and so fun for me to. And also the fact that it's going to be about this group of kids playing football against these robots. Absolutely yes. Also the fact that if you look at the group of kids, you see that they're different sizes, different gender identities, different shades of skin, different hair. Hair is very important, as someone who's bald, which is ironic. But no, the hair is very important, especially when it comes to characters of different color, because for the longest time, all we got were shaved heads because people did not want to draw hair.
Yeah.
That's for real. So I absolutely love that. This is going to be coming up. What I recommend is, in the episode description, we have a link for you to go and click on the notify me. and it'll notify you. They are over 100 followers, which is great because that means that when the Kickstarter does drop, they'll get even more momentum right out of the gate. So that's awesome. And this is going to be 200. So they want to get up to 225. They're up to 136 now. That's a great start. And this is going to be going, the pre-sales are going to be going on in May. I'm excited for this. Look at the thickness of that book. I want to read this now. 90 plus pages. And I love the thing of saying win or go Chrome.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. But that's that early 90s, like that 90s, 2000s, Saturday morning cartoon, like, thing that you would say in there. I'm into this.
Like Recess has like a Recess vibe.
Yes, thank you. Yes, exactly. And I love this because sometimes you just want to go back, you just want to have, and I mean, even look at the art. These kids, they're up against, what is it? The Granada Park Pirates. Bruh. Absolutely, yes. Yes.
Yeah, they're Damien is, I think we said it before, he's one of the best writers writing right now. And like you say, he hops between so many genres, which is great. is amazing. And I like the idea that he's putting out one graphic novel, right? And there's nothing wrong with the single issues, but just the having it just kind of in one, just like the compact, book we were talking about before, is another plus. So this looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more Kickstarters that are going more towards doing like graphic novel books, like trades, if you want to call that, or even hardcover, like that, more overdoing single issues. And I'm here for it for a couple of different reasons. I think it's better just to have that whole story. Sometimes it can be a couple years in between issues, which can throw some people off. I just think that it's more enriching to have that whole graphic novel, whether it's one or whether it's maybe three in a series of graphic novels that you're going to do. Whatever it is, I just think it's more fulfilling. I get more of the writer. I get more of the art. Because sometimes I don't want to be starved with just that one issue, and then I have to wait a bit till the next one. I love having all of that and just diving into it and feeling just satisfied with that story and everything. And then the next one comes out maybe a year or so later, which some graphic novels do come out years like in between. So I'm liking the fact that people are going more towards that route of doing graphic novels, or trades, or just collections, whatever you want to do instead of singles. It feels just feels more worth it and better to me, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's everything for today's show, folks. We've had kids playing football against robots. We've got a young hero who's having anxiety attacks. We have another hero getting back to basics, really, in the same nasty ass town with a new suit, but still being just the beacon of light that he is. I mean, honestly, we have so much going on. But yes, this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it will be the Hungry Bleak Show. I'll be talking about that new Miles Morales series that's going to be coming out, plus some more stuff going on as well. And then next week we will have our our Geek Culture Upfronts episode, because there's a lot going on in May. I went down kind of a rabbit hole. I watched one thing and it showed me 5 other things that were in May, and I was like, all right, y'all got to calm the hell down, man. And a lot of it stuff I didn't know was even going to be happening, stuff that I thought was canceled.
Oh wow, okay.
Stuff that was there. So I'm excited by that as well. But then after that, we're going to be changing our format a bit. We're going to be doing our summer series, our hangout series, our cookout time. Look, summer is going to be hot. There's a lot going on. We want this to be your summer hangout. We want you to come here, have some fun. We're going to have a lot of fun talks about what we're reading, what we're watching, what we're playing, what's going on. And we're going to have some guests along the way that are going to be joining in on these conversations. Who? I'm not going to tell you yet, nosy ass. You're going to have to, no, you're not nosy. I'm sorry. But you're gonna find out some people that we've had on the shows before, some new people. It's just gonna be a lot of fun. We want summertime to be fun. We want you to come out and hang out with us for an hour, talk geek stuff, drink some cool lemonade. Look, I'm not gonna have the mug. It's gonna be Red Cup all summer. Red Cup is gonna be full. Non-alcoholic beverages, folks. I promise. I absolutely promise. Kool-Aid. I might even bring out Hawaiian Punch. Cold Hawaiian Punch. By the way, cold Hawaiian Punch.
Just red sugar.
I'm just red sugar, just for no reason. Yeah, every drink I did mention was.
Oh God!
Every drink I did mention was just red sugar, wasn't it? It sure enough was. Even Kool-Aid. When I say Kool-Aid, the first thing you think of is red. Yeah. You know what? One day I'll have a grape soda. Grape soda just hit your soul differently. I had one last weekend and I was like, "Ooh, that's nice."
Tight.
Yeah, I might even get some Sprite from the McDonald's. Sprite not supposed to bite you back, is it? It's not.
I don't think so.
The hell did they get that formula from? It's ridiculous. Robotnik make that? Anyway, folks, yeah, that's the show. Thank you so very much for joining us. Please be safe, drink water, take your vitamins, take your meds, whether it's for physical, emotional, or for a physical, emotional, or mental ailment. We want you to be the best you that you can be. Okay. Please be safe. Have a good one. And again, I'm trying not to be so angry, but I am angry, but I still want to say a positive thing. So do a wonderful thing and enjoy yourselves. All right. We'll see you next Friday, we'll see you next Wednesday, but I'll see you Friday. Have a good one and be blessed. I don't know. Do I really say that? That's not my thing. I don't know. All right, folks. Bye. Bye. Oh my God, it's crazy.